Today on Investigate TV Plus, innocent people stopped at airports and searched by drug agents looking for money. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Our investigation examines how police can seize assets, including cash, and why in most cases they keep it.
Plus, a refugee pays it forward to those arriving in the United States with very little.
It's nice to welcome refugees and show them that they're welcome in this community.
The organization providing homes to those seeking a new life in America.
Then, a young man with autism creates opportunities through his burgeoning business.
It's important because they want to be accepted like everybody else.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. Drug agents search innocent passengers just trying to make their flights. And our investigation uncovered they're often looking for cash and seizing it without making an arrest. It's called civil asset forfeiture, and according to the ACLU, it allows law enforcement officers to seize and keep any property they allege is involved in a crime.
During civil asset forfeiture, the money is arrested instead of the passenger carrying the cash. According to court records we obtained, passengers are forced to prove on the spot their money was earned legitimately. Experts say once cash is seized, it can be a long, expensive process for the owner to get it back.
Investigator Brendan Keefe takes an in-depth look at this practice at the busiest airport in the world and a destination frequently targeted by drug agents.
TSA has one mandate, securing air travel. But screeners are looking for more than just weapons or explosives. They're also looking for money. TSA Rule 100.4 tells screeners to alert police when they spot large amounts of currency concealed within someone's bag, even though traveling with large amounts of currency is not illegal.
The cash that appeared to be hidden.
Not anything wrong, just valid clearance and thousands not declared.
That's not true when flying domestically. Yet drug agents in Charlotte offered this LA-bound passenger a deal. Sign a form abandoning his $100,000 or face a lengthy federal investigation.
There's an option to avoid all that, not to sound like a used car salesman, but I'm going to give you all your options. You can walk away from that money. I'm going to seize the money, but if you want to walk away from a federal investigation that's linked to the money, those are your options. But if you sign this, nobody from the U.S. Attorney's Office will contact you.
3 years later, he's still trying to get his money back from the federal government.
Oh, man.
Court records show Clayton County narcotics officers use similar disclaimer of ownership forms at Atlanta's airport.
Any check bags?
Clayton County officers found neither drugs nor money in 93% of these jet bridge searches, according to our review of more than a year of Drug Task Force logs. But they were still able to seize more than $1 million cash for reasons such as the money was concealed within clothing or it smelled like marijuana. Just flying to California can be suspicious. The passenger was flying from Atlanta, a known drug hub city, to San Francisco, a known drug source city.
Civil forfeiture is actually easier than criminal forfeiture.
Dan Albin and the Institute for Justice have successfully sued the DEA and other agencies to get passengers' money back.
Perversely, it's actually easier to forfeit someone's property from an innocent person who is not charged or convicted of a crime than it is from a criminal defendant who actually is convicted of a crime.
In nearly all airport cash seizures we've reviewed, no drugs were found and the passengers were not arrested or charged with a crime.
In the vast majority of these cases, they just take the money. They don't take custody of the person. They, in effect, arrest the money instead of the person.
That's absolutely right, especially in airport interdictions. It's almost always someone's cash is seized, but they're allowed to continue traveling to board their flight.
On location during this interview or interrogation, you are effectively required to prove that your money isn't from drugs in order for them not to take it right there on the scene.
The way that law enforcement conducts interdiction, the burden is on the person to prove that they're innocent and that their cash is not involved in any criminal activity.
You're either going to sign a consent form saying that you're allowing us to search them,
okay,
or I'm going to detain them, run my dog on it, and get a search warrant.
Feel free to search the bag, sir.
It's not a consensual interview in those circumstances. It's an ambush.
we found plainclothes DEA task force officers picking out passengers and searching bags at Hartsfield-Jackson gates, including this canine handler from a local police department.
How many innocent people do you have to search before you find what you're looking for?
Sir, I've got nothing to say to you.
So we went straight to the top, Drug Enforcement Administration headquarters here in Northern Virginia. We gave the agency days advance notice that we wanted to sit down for an interview. But after we arrived in the nation's capital, the DEA said it didn't have time to answer our questions about the airport searches.
They don't want word about this getting out. They don't want the public to know about what they're doing. They want to be able to continue seizing money from innocent people that they never charge with a crime so that they can keep that money and put it back into their slush funds that they can then spend on any activities they want, including generating even more revenue for DOJ, DEA, and these other agencies.
In 2023, Congress reintroduced a bipartisan bill called the FAIR Act. It would end administrative forfeiture, meaning every forfeiture case would have to go to court. It would also end the profit incentive for these agencies. Investigator Brendan Keefe joins us now with more. Okay, Brendan, can you say no to these searches in the airport?
Sometimes. If it's the TSA and the questions are about airline security, you have no choice but to answer those questions or they won't let you board the plane. But drug task force officers and local police still need a search warrant, probable cause, or your permission to search for evidence of a crime. The Institute for Justice tells us the magic words are, "Am I free to go?" If the answer's yes, you can simply walk away. If the answer's no, it's no longer a consensual search.
And Brendan, we understand there's been a lawsuit filed.
That's right, Lee. Two comedians, Eric Andre and Clayton English, sued the Clayton County, Georgia Police Department, accusing them of racial profiling for stops where nothing was taken from them. A federal judge tossed that lawsuit, saying the men were free to go because these were consensual searches, even if they didn't realize it at the time and felt they were not free to go. The two comedians have filed an appeal with the 11th Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals in Atlanta.
All right, thanks, Brendan. Our in-depth coverage continues online. You can read and watch Brendan's reports on civil asset forfeiture on InvestigateTV.com. Just search In Plain Sight.
Strokes are one of the leading causes of death, but a new surgery may help improve a patient's odds. Still to come, hear from a grandmother getting a second chance thanks to this innovative procedure. But first, a refugee from Iraq inspired to help those like him start a new life in the United States.
I will not forget it in all of my life, these things.
The organization building futures and hope for those seeking a new life. Our in-depth coverage continues. You can get connected to Investigate TV Plus on all social media platforms.
Worldwide, an urgent and ongoing refugee crisis. In 2022 alone, the UN Refugee Agency estimates more than 108 million people were displaced from their homes due to violence and persecution.
For years, the United States has been a global leader in refugee admissions. According to the U.S. Department of State, the country has welcomed more than 3 million refugees since the passage of the Refugee Act in 1980. The Refugee Act is a federal immigration law that standardizes the process of admitting refugees in the U.S. It has set a limit on refugee admission, but the law also authorized the president to exceed this for humanitarian purposes.
Reporter Heather Graff introduces us to one organization helping hundreds of refugee families in the D.C. area each year, turning their houses into homes.
For Athir Abdullah, there's no furniture job too big or too small.
2 days I have pick up, 2 days I'm working like here.
He has a gift, working with his hands.
How many coffee tables have you made?
Oh, a lot. Maybe 100, maybe a dining table or a dresser.
And he's using that gift for good. Building and refinishing home furnishings for refugees who have arrived in the United States with little to nothing.
I'm help refugee Before people, American people, you help me. I help my family.
You can probably hit out pretty quick.
Athir has a job he loves here at Homes Not Borders. Founded in 2019, the DC area nonprofit works to support refugees just like him. It helps furnish living spaces and provides financial assistance and job training to those seeking safety and a new life in the U.S. Athir was once a driver for the U.S. military in Iraq, but fled the country with his wife and 2 children in 2016. They say it was too dangerous to stay.
We are very scared. And, I have kids, very, very scary. He say, I don't know what I do.
They relocated to Maryland, but it wasn't an easy transition.
That's why we do what we do.
Homes Not Borders Executive Director Laura Thompson-Asuri says the organization set up more than 500 homes in 2022. Everything from bedding to household items and hygiene products are included.
It's nice to welcome refugees and show them that they're welcome in this community.
It's all possible thanks to a few full-time employees, including Athir, along with dozens of volunteers, plus donations and local partnerships. They help refugees from countries like Guatemala, El Salvador, Ethiopia, and many from Afghanistan.
Once Kabul fell, then this was one of the biggest areas for Afghans to resettle in.
Thousands of people were forced to flee Afghanistan after the Taliban seized control of the country in 2021, and the demand for aid from Homes Not Borders multiplied.
We changed overnight in August of 2021 because just the number of Afghans coming here.
Afghans like Hamid Mumand, who arrived in the United States in October 2022.
We live all of our life in Afghanistan, our home, our degrees, our dreams.
Like Athir, he worked for the U.S. military.
Does that put you and your family in danger?
Yes, it was definitely very big danger for all of our family.
But starting over in a new country had its own challenges.
Every day and every night was it was a nightmare for me how to start the new life.
A resettlement agency helped Hamid's family with an apartment, but how to make it livable? That was another question.
When we moved to this apartment, all the way I was thinking that how I will purchase the furniture. I don't have the budget as well for
to furnish a home.
To furnish the home, to set up a life.
Walking into his new apartment for the first time, he was overcome with emotion.
It was a very excited moment when I was opening the door.
Homes Not Borders had taken care of everything, and the only sign that they had been there was this note on the fridge.
You were surprised that the entire apartment was furnished.
That was a very surprised moment.
Was that life-changing for you?
Exactly.
Lives changed, and a full circle moment for Athir, who knows firsthand how much it means.
I am happy. My family is happy. I'm help another people.
I will not forget it in all of my life, these things.
Homes Not Borders is a member of the Hello Neighbor Network, a nationwide collective of dozens of grassroots nonprofits serving refugees and immigrants. In 2023, it served more than 1,500 refugees. At the federal level, in September 2023, President Biden signed the Presidential Determination on Refugee Admissions that allows for welcoming up to 125,000 refugees during fiscal year 2024.
Still to come, a young man with autism inspires understanding and acceptance with his work ethic.
But first, a new surgery stops a stroke before it starts.
I was high risk, I'm gonna die.
We break down this life-saving procedure that's giving one woman the opportunity to watch her grandchildren grow up. You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes.
The World Stroke Organization says stroke is the second leading cause of death worldwide. In 2020, there were 6.6 million deaths caused by stroke, but that number is projected to hit nearly 10 million by 2050.
A woman in North Carolina almost joined that statistic. She says she's still alive today thanks to a new surgery that helps prevent stroke. Reporter Carrie Beal explains how it works.
Dawn Stice has been battling carotid artery disease for the last 4 years. Plaque builds up in the blood vessels of the neck, hindering blood flow to the heart and brain.
This artery is completely blocked, so there's no blood going to my brain. This artery was 80% blocked.
Her doctor told her it was life-threatening and could lead to a stroke or heart attack.
I could have an arterial embolism, which means if I let my heart rate get too fast, it could explode. I could die. I was high risk, I'm gonna die.
She had already gotten one surgery to clear the plaque from her vessels, but it didn't work.
This was the first, and then down here was Dr. Sticko.
Vascular surgeon Dr. Andrew Sticko met with her to discuss a less invasive surgery.
Hey there, Dawn.
Hey, Doc.
It's known as TCAR.
A small incision is made at the base of the neck, and through that incision, we can directly place a carotid stent.
Dr. Sticko says the device reverses blood flow in the artery, keeping debris moving away from the brain. Then the stent is placed in that artery to open it up and help clear out the plaque.
Patients do very well with the procedure. There's less overall complications, there's less hospital stay, and oftentimes less operative time.
Dr. Sticko says these are the before and after pictures of the blood flow in her artery. You can see the one on the left has blockage in the middle, whereas the one on the right, blood is flowing smoothly.
And I don't want to die, I want to live. I'm still young and vibrant.
She has many grandchildren, like her granddaughter Dakota, who she hopes to see grow up into an adult.
I told her I want to see her baby. I want to meet her baby.
And you think you can now?
Oh, I know I can. I just got to follow the rules.
Dr. Sticko says after this surgery, it's important to make healthy lifestyle changes, or else that plaque could build right back up. In Greenville, South Carolina, I'm Carrie Beal.
This procedure typically requires the patient stay 1 full day in the hospital. They'll likely be put on blood thinners and will be able to return to normal activity immediately. But vigorous activity will have to wait for at least a week.
There are 7 things you can do that Harvard doctors say can reduce your risk for stroke. Try to lower your blood pressure. High blood pressure is a huge factor, doubling or even quadrupling your stroke risk. Try to lose weight. Obesity, as well as complications linked to it, raises your odds of having a stroke. Exercise more. If you drink, do so in moderation. Treat AFib, a form of irregular heartbeat that causes clots to form in the heart. Treat diabetes and quit smoking.
Many people ignore the signs of a stroke because they question whether their symptoms are real, and the National Stroke Association has created an easy acronym to help you remember. It's FAST, which stands for face drooping. Look at the eye, cheek, or lips for droopiness or asymmetry. Arm weakness. Ask the person to raise both hands to shoulder height and check to see if one arm is lower than the other. Slurred speech, and time to call 911. And be sure to tell them you think it's a stroke.
Up next,
every time a customer comes up, he lights up and he pounces out of the house and comes to here.
How a Georgia man is inspiring a community with his warmth and work ethic. A community outside Savannah, Georgia is fired up to throw their support behind a small business that's about more than making a buck.
Yeah, its young owner was inspired to chop down barriers and stigmas about people with autism by selling firewood. Reporter Sam Bowman shows us how Stephen Anderson is igniting change.
A new business is taking Bryan County by storm.
Stephen's firewood shed.
And so is the young man behind it.
Just a few more.
Well, I can't wait to meet him. And of course, I'm going to go by and see him.
That man?
My name is Stephen Anderson.
Stephen has been putting the work in.
Your job is to stack the firewood back there, and he bags all the firewood and he comes out here and he sells it.
And the new business has certainly kept him busy.
How many?
I was going to get 4.
But it's a job he seems to have a burning passion for.
Every time a customer comes up, he lights up and he pounces out of the house and comes to here.
Customers like Frida Spivey.
I stopped by because my daughter lives in Alabama. Her son has autism.
Autism, just like Stephen.
It's important because they want to be accepted like everybody else. They might not respond like everybody. They may not have great vocabulary, but I mean, it's very important that they're accepted like everyone else.
And if you've ever met Stephen, it doesn't take long to realize. If anything, we could all stand to be a bit more like him.
Anyone that has ever come in contact with him, you know, they just loved him. They've always loved him. He's always happy. He's been happy 24/7.
Stephen's firewood shed, giving him the chance to show the world what he's capable of.
I pick it and firewood up muscles.
And send everyone home with something sure to warm them up. Joy.
Makes me smile.
If you'd like to follow along with Stephen's journey, you can follow their page, Stephen's Firewood Shed, on Facebook. And that is a booming business.
He's doing great, and I love that smile. The hug at the end just made my day.
You
So
get
sweet.
More than firewood.
No doubt about that. Great business.
Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm T. Chappelle.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching. Next time on Investigate TV Plus, in a medical emergency, just seconds matter.
Everybody's just standing there. Like my dad, he couldn't do anything. Like he was like shaking.
But a valuable skill can save lives.
I was looking at it and my mind was going back to what I was learning in school, and I was like, that's not what that looked like.
Why experts say one solution starts in the classroom.